These are the tactics that I use in Elite Division Rivals and also in the North American Pro Ladder for FC Pro. And I'll also be sharing some 5-back tactics so that you guys can also combat the 5-back. But if you guys want the code for these tactics, make sure to stay until the end of the video where I'll show the code so you guys can literally just copy paste it. But make sure to listen as well, because I'm going to explain to you how to actually play the formation and not just copy paste the tactics and then just not know what to do with them. Anyways guys, straight into the tactics for the 4-4-2. So it's going to be 4-4-2 flat. You don't want the ones with 2 CDMs. You want to make sure it's flat, and the build-up style is actually going to be counter. So it's not going to be balanced, it's going to be counter, and it's pretty good, especially when your opponent makes a mistake. So if you take the ball off your opponent, especially when they lose the ball in the midfield, because of how attacking the 4-4-2 is, having the 2 wingers as inside forwards and 2 strikers, it really catches people off guard. So you win that ball in the midfield using this counter, and then you just do 2 passes and you can get a pretty free goal. So that's why I like to use counter here. And also defensive approach, I like to play 60, not quite 50. I like to do a little bit higher. The reason I like to do a little bit higher is just because I enjoy pressing my opponents, and like I said, this year it's harder to do those 360 no scope passes. It's harder to play out the back, so I like to kind of capitalize on that. And if you can force your opponents to really make those mistakes, you can really kind of get in there, take the ball from them, especially in the midfield, and then continue to go forward and get those quick goals. And when you take the lead in this game, people start to stress out a lot, make those quick passes, and once again, you can just kind of keep countering them while playing just as aggressive to get as many goals as possible. Now, in terms of the player roles, this is what it actually looks like with the ball. So we have our left back as Balde as a wing back plus. You can make your right back wing back plus and then kind of force the other one to be fullback. So you can revert the tactics. That's kind of like the only change I guess I would make. I would definitely keep Patrick Guijarro or any player that you have long ball plus in this position. So Bruno Fernandes is a very cheap option. Enzo Fernandez is also a good option, and obviously Patri, the one that like all the pros are using pretty much, excellent option. So you want to have her as your deep lying playmaker. There are also, all of the players I listed are also right-footed, so you can get some right-footed Trivelas with them as well if you want to shoot that from far out. And as for the left center mid, you want a box-to-box player. So you don't want to have like a super defensive. You don't want to have like a Conte here, because Conte's not going to be able to shoot, especially on his weak foot. You want to have someone who's more box-to-box. I'm using Camavinga right now, who's a cheaper option. Pros are using Hullet. Jude Bellingham is a good option. You know, Frankie De Jong is a pretty good option there as well. Those are pretty good options. I just wouldn't use somebody that's like strictly defense and is like a beefy truck that's not going to move. Center backs, I think defender's the best. I have sweeper keeper for Ederson because I just feel like, you know, goalies are really good at coming out this year, and if he has the plus play style, I trust him. I think defender's the best. So if you can get defenders with the defender plus or defender plus like Saliba, or I think Van Dijk has only 1 plus, but Saliba has the plus, and I think Rudiger has plus as well. If you can get those guys, your defense is going to be incredible. And I actually recommend, quick tip over here, I actually recommend you guys invest most of your coins in center backs this year, because I think having good defenders is more important than having good forwards. So one thing I struggle with a lot is Konate and Gavardio don't really do the job, but I have loan Saliba and loan VVD for pro games, right? So it makes it so much easier to defend by having those 2 guys on defense. Whereas defenders are so overpowered this year that even if you have really good attackers, you know, it's still very difficult to find space. But anyways, St. Maximin inside forward, Chiesa inside forward. The reason I like having inside forward is because you want to kind of have those like multiple attackers going in and showing up for that option, especially for like that extra pass option. And they also actually rotate a lot with the strikers. And the reason they do that is because we have false 9 on both of the strikers. Now, I usually like to play Mbappe right striker. The reason why is because he has a really good Trivela. But one thing I would recommend, and this is usually what I do on Pro Team, is have your left striker or your right striker, but usually it's your left striker. Put him there with Finesse Plus. Unless you have Griezmann for the right striker, put someone with Finesse Plus, especially with False 9. They drop back into space a lot, and then you can just hit a crazy finesse from outside the box, and they'll be in that position so many times. So if you're playing another 5-back, or you're playing a guy who's just defending or AI defending, and you just can't break him down, having that finesse option like really forces him to like kind of bring players out, or you know, you just kind of take the shot and you get a free goal. So very good. and versatile. Another reason why I like to use false 9 and not advance forward and stuff like that is because they actually show. So when you're attacking, they actually come back and show, so that you have that option. They go in front of the defenders instead of like hiding behind. So a lot of people who are very aggressive with the defenders and stuff like that, you can kind of avoid them and make sure that you don't get tackled from behind, because that's also very overpowered this year. But without ball, obviously this is going to stay the same. Pretty good defensively. And if you're very scared and you don't want to play 2-2 attacking, you can also just have Balde and Llorente as fullback, and this way they stay back, especially if you feel like you're getting counterattacked too much, because it is a possibility. That being said, if you do this, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, it's a lot of it's preference, but you can actually just send them on runs by clicking L1, right? Nothing too difficult, especially if you want them to go up. And then this way you avoid getting counterattacked if you're pressing too high, or if your fullback just goes way too high up and you lose the ball in the midfield. Also, if you attack better on the right side, you can also just, wing back, done. Switch it to the right side. I attack better on the left side, I feel. So I just do wing back plus on my left back instead of my right back. But anyways, that is that tactic. If you want to copy the code right now, make sure to pause it right here. So the 5-2-1-2 is right here, and I call it just the 5 narrow because, well, it's pretty narrow. Anyways, getting into it, right? 5-2-1-2. This one I do high pressure. We're in a 5 back. I don't really care about defending. We have 10 center backs. I want them to go up the field and not sit back, and invite pressure. So we use 70 defensive approach here, so high. And this one I'm actually doing balance instead of counterattack. I don't feel like counterattacking is too important. Honestly, I haven't tried it enough. Maybe I try it, but I think so far balance has worked pretty well with me, so I'm gonna keep it as that. Without the ball, this is what it's looked like. I like to have false back on my left back, and I recommend you guys do wing back. Usually I do attacking, but if you do attacking, you're gonna get counterattacked a lot. If you really want this player to go up with wing back, he'll go up, but also just kind of trigger the run, right? If you trigger the run, he's gonna go up. So I'd rather that and not him go up every single time, and then you lose the ball stupidly or something, and then now you're counterattacked and now you're struggling. So that is a very good option to just kind of, have it as a wing back. And if you really wanted to go up, just trigger the run. Ignore Chiesa being a center back here, obviously, because like I said, I mostly play 4-4-2. I don't actually have a center back for this, but if I'm going to hold out a game, I do have a center back on the bench, so I can switch to this, and then all the other players would work pretty well, aside from Saint Maximin, which is usually when I sub in Messi, who, by the way, is a very good card this year. He dribbles incredibly. But I like to have Thuram with Poacher, right? Left striker with Poacher, right center forward with advanced forward ++. You can experiment with these. If you're using someone like Griezmann, false 9 is recommended, so he comes back a little short. But I like having these two because usually in the 5 back, when you get the ball, especially against 4 backs, you can play 1 through ball, usually to the Poacher, and he's pretty much one-on-one on goal. Now, as for the cam, I like Playmaker because I like him to, move around, go around all over the place, right? I want him all over the field. And I really just want these 2 players structured and the 2 midfielders structured, which is the exact same tactics as the 4-4-2. We're going to have deep line Playmaker for your long ball plus player. And then for Camavinga, you're going to have box to box. Make sure this guy's going up, like I said, like the Hullits, Putellas, all those kinds of players. Bellingham, put him there, right? Center backs, all defenders. I think defenders is the best one. Ederson, same thing, sweeper keeper. It's his thing. I'll let you do what you want. And like I said, wing back and false back. The reason I like false back is in case you lose the ball in the midfield, or in case you play one of those formations like 4-3-3, one of them is like really weird, and the wingers are always really high up, and I swear every time it seems like they're always open. So I choose to play false back a lot, and the reason for that is if I lose the ball, I don't feel like I'm just gonna get destroyed on the wings instantly when I have one player on false back. Especially if you can get Theo Hernandez here, he is like unbelievable. Theo Hernandez is unbelievable just in general, but if you can get him here, right, he's got the ++ as well, which makes him even better. And you can also trigger them on runs, and like I said, Trivelas are incredibly overpowered, so if you can Trivela with your fullbacks, I'm telling you, it's going in. I scored a bunch in Pro Open, and people were asking me, how are you doing that? Your fullbacks have like 68 shooting, this and that. Doesn't matter. When you Trivela, hit that green time, bang, it's in the top corner every single time. But yeah, guys, those are the tactics. Let me show you the code real quick. This is the code if you want to copy, paste it in, right? In this formation, what you want to do is you really want to play slow, slow, build up, take your time, right, and take control of the game. You are in a 5-back. You want to trigger a lot of runs. Left backs, right backs, you want to trigger runs. And same thing with your forwards. I like to have someone with finesse plus at the cam position so that they can just bang in finesses. Usually I have Zola there on my pro team because I have him loan. Messi is very good in that position as well, but I prefer to have an attacker. I tried Putellas there and I did not like her. I would really play an attacker, not some like, oh, like, you know, kind of mixed midfielder. No Bonmati, no, none of that, right? Keep them in box to box, right? And then have your long ball beside them, and then just have somebody who's very attacking, like Messi. Even Griezmann could go there, but he'd be off cam, which kind of, I guess, defeats the purpose. Kvara is not too bad there, right? Any attacker pretty much will work in that position. Messi, I genuinely couldn't recommend this card anymore. He's actually incredible. These stats are off the bench, and obviously you don't get the pro open stats either, but I'm telling you, like, Messi absolutely carries me sometimes. I just wish I could get him on chemistry. So once I start getting 1 or 2 icons, then we can start kind of getting him on chemistry. But he's a very excellent player that I could recommend. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Let me know if you guys have used the tactics, how your weekend league is going, and if any of you guys are actually playing pro open as well. I want to see how your experience is with that, and if you've been playing too many 5-backs. But anyways, guys, I will post my rewards video tomorrow at the time that this video comes out. It's going to be very, very exciting, as it's going to be our first ever rewards. We're going to have it on 2 accounts, the Road to Glory and the main account. But anyways, guys, this could be all for the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.